Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
And I thought the truth table was over. No, I guess not. Welcome everyone to the Truth Table Season 3, Episode 12. I don't know why I'm hearing music. Oh, I can hear what you can hear. That's the problem. I hear the podcast. I hear me talking. So I'm hearing what you're hearing. So that is, there we go. Now I don't hear it anymore. All right. Welcome, David Marker, my guest today. He was going to be my guest before. Welcome, David.
Thank you for having me there, Paul.
I know what it is.
Your last one had technical difficulties from my end.
Yeah. I was actually hearing myself on YouTube, so it was echoing. There's a delay, so I thought it was you, but it's me. But you've been trying to get on this show for a long time now, and I know you have a lot to say, so I'm going to give you the floor and let you speak and tell everyone why you're here and what you have to say.
All right, Paul, thanks for having me. I know my friend John, the veteran, I call him the veteran, I don't want to give his last name per se to the internet, but he was on your show before. I'm a Canadian patriot. I was part of the Freedom Convoy in 2022. I was injured in 2017 by a car accident, which gave me a lot more time than most people would have because most people go to work and pay the bills, but I got injured, so I watched lots of podcasts. And right away, COVID, I knew it was nonsense. I didn't take the vaccine. I tried to encourage nobody to take it. And then I started to go to freedom rallies. I started in London, where I'm from, London, Ontario. And then from there, I went to Windsor. I went to Vaughan for the Dutch farmers protest. I went to Ottawa multiple times. The thing for me was the convoy. I went there just for the Saturday. I was only there for the very first day of the convoy, but I made a point for myself. Get in my black truck, what my Uncle Ken gave me, and I drove all the way to Ottawa in it by myself. The Canadian flag off the back. I just bought some Canadian Tire, and I got to Ottawa, and I thought, wow, this is like the best moment of my life, aside from my children being born. And then 3 weeks later, Justin Trudeau invokes the Emergencies Act, which I consider an act of war on Canada. It was already deemed illegal by Justice Mosley. But so for myself, so during that 3 week stretch, I got into a car crash coming back from Ottawa. I had to leave on Sunday. I had to do some family court stuff, and then on a Sunday, I got involved in a car accident. It wasn't my fault. I was just in the not my fault, anyways. So I had to deal with getting a rental car and getting a new truck on the road, blah 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 blah. So I was paying attention to the convo all along, but just from the sideline. But I was there the first day, and then I just watched how things progressed, and then all of a sudden, the heavy hitters were coming. The cops changed their tune. They were all friendly. And then I believe orders came from above. I believe from America, Great Britain. I'm going to carry on because I don't want to lose my train of thought too much. So then I'm at home. My truck's whatever. I'm about to buy a new truck. I'm driving a rental car at the time. And then I'm watching on TV as the Gestapo is what I call them. Nazi NATO is what I think NATO is. They're Nazi. My grandfather served in World War II fighting the Nazis, and now we fund them in Ukraine, and we bring one into the House of Parliament, and everybody gives them a standing ovation. It's a sidetrack. But the biggest trigger for me was watching Candace Ciro, the native lady from Tyendinaga, get run over by a horse. And then I was at home watching this on TV as things got heavy. I called my family members in North Bay to check out the plane, because they have they have an airport in North Bay, which I believe Todd Callender, who is the United States Attorney, suggested that 4 NATO planes came into Canada for that protest. That's an actual war. So let me retreat a little bit, because the King of England, King Charles, he had a speech at COP26, November 21st, 2021. And he stated in his speech about COVID being blah, blah, blah. It's a 7-minute video. I encourage everybody to watch it. Because I believe the King of England declared war on humanity. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
People could talk to me about that. But in his speech, he said, with troops at his disposal, we will need a vast military-style campaign to marshal the strength of the global private sector. And I'm like, what? Rewind. Listen to that again. And I've listened to it over and over again. I don't listen to it anymore because, I heard too much from that guy. And our Prime Minister Carney and Trudeau before him and all of our politicians all pledge allegiance to England. And England is a small island, way away from our big island, which we share with America and Mexico, and all of Turtle Island is what the First Nations call it, which I respect First Nations 100%. I would like this land returned to them and start over. I don't know how that would work, but I wrote. So what happened? So the Friday I watched Candace run over by a horse. On a Saturday I got very upset. I was talking to God, praying to God, asking some stuff. And on Sunday I spent 6 hours writing the Governor General an email asking for the dissolution of Parliament, investigation to every member of Parliament, and their ties to the World Economic Forum, which is another governing body, like the Bilderberg Group, Club of Rome, Council of 300, the Bank of International Settlements. I could go on. I mean, lots of people have knowledge on these.
I would agree with you. Canada, first of all, we need to get rid of the chiefs because they work for the federal government. They work for the king, and that's why they're betraying us. But a new constitution protecting the rights, property rights, and guaranteeing public oversight on every sector of government that we propose and create. Education needs to be controlled by families, and immigrants need to be sent back where they belong because we don't poop on our beaches. There's a lot of things that we could agree on. Constitutionally, we do have to leave Britain, but it will have consequences. They will retaliate. And, we have been betrayed, but they've all been protected. Like all the bad people and the police or the CSIS, RCMP, if they're willing to do bad things, they get promoted. And that's how you get promoted. If you're, a good person, you're least likely to get promoted because you won't cross the line for your
right. Yeah, you don't follow the company line. Yeah.
So we would have to start over. So I agree with you 100%. We can do it, though. There's a lot of smart people in Canada, and we just need the right people. we basically need to protect them. If we get a leader, they're going to go after them. Just like the truckers, they will go after you.
Like the
But
people I meant. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
you're still going.
I'm sorry I interrupted. But yeah, just about the native.
No, you're allowed to. But it's dialogue. It's dialogue.
I
just don't want to interrupt. But
I think the
people I met in the are some of the smartest, bravest, courageous people in Canada I have ever met, and I'm honored to have stood beside them. Honored.
Yeah.
Critical thinkers.
I think a lot of the
brave.
I think a lot of the native people are also aware that the chiefs are corrupt and they're getting money in their back pockets for agreeing with the globalist situation and agenda. So they know, but they feel powerless too. But we're going to have to elect and say, this is a person I trust, and put their name forward and vote on them and have ballots so we can count them and recount them. So there's absolutely no cheating along the way. Right now, we're a usurped country, and we're not the only one. The United States is bad. Look at Minnesota. That's all immigration. They took over. Yeah, it's bad, very bad. And they're stealing the wealth of the Americans. So they have the same problem as we do. And, but I like where you're coming with that. I'm Micmac native, so I can relate to.
Nice.
I love the land and the people, and I want the water clean and the animals respected. Like the end of
everything. Protect Mother Earth. That's where I roll. I won't throw one cigarette butt on the ground. I won't even litter. I pick up litter. I won't throw nothing on the ground.
Yeah, and these people that are coming litter for. That's what they do in their own country. They've destroyed their country. In India, it's just like a big garbage can. It's disgusting. And their waters are filthy. They bath in it. But yeah, the king has declared war against us. They have, the COVID was like a military weapon, the shot.
Yep.
And the glyphosate, spraying it on the forest for absolutely no reason. It drives the trees, so trees burn. So there's open crimes happening against us that we can see with our own 100%. Eyes. So
crimes against humanity and genocide. That's what can I read my one letter? Okay, I have a whole bunch. I'm just going to show you just a folder. It's got a legal clip. I've emailed the United States Pam Bondi. I emailed Russia. I emailed United States colonels. I emailed the World Health Organization. I emailed. Have you heard of Dr. Reiner Fuelmich? I'm sure you must have.
No, I was going to let you.
No
I'm giving you the floor though, so you can go over whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Dr. Reiner Fuelmich is a lawyer who, at the beginning of the COVID, when I was starting to do my research, because I knew something was wrong. So then I found Dr. Reiner Fuelmich, and he set this Nuremberg 2.0 grand jury up. It's a 6-day podcast. It's on Odyssey.net. And I only watched a day and a half of it. Day and a half of 6 hours. First day was 3 hours. That's like not 8, 6, 7 hours of video, whatever I watched. And I didn't finish it all, which I wish I did, but I haven't. Because I watch too many podcasts, which is not a bad thing, because I listen to everybody's source of opinion, and I want to formulate my own. I listen to professors like a United States Judge Napolitano, George Galloway from Scotland, many podcasters that are super smart, Rachel Blevins. I can't, Sean Atwood, I can go on for days. But I listen to all sorts of opinions so I can formulate my own. And I wrote, but Dr. Reiner Fuelmich, after he brought up this grand jury, they arrested him and they put him in jail. He's been in jail for 3 years now. And Christine Anderson, the MEP from Germany, who came to Canada, I met her personally.
Yeah, I met her.
I delivered her of 3 of my letters. With my first letter was the Governor General, second letter was to the World Health Organization, and my third letter was asking for the King of England to be arrested, along with others. That's the letter I'd like to read, if you don't mind.
Yes, please go ahead.
The third letter. It's only a page and a half, so it won't be too long.
It's okay. There's no time limit. We'll take as long as it takes to get everything out. All right, brother. You said one of your friends was a guest on my show. Is that how you heard about Truth Table?
Yeah, John Wick. John Wick.
Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah.
So another thing, after and before I read this letter, so after I seen Cancer run by the horse, I wrote the Governor General letter. I walked to my London police station on a Sunday night because God, I believe God, Holy Spirit said, go try and charge him with treason. So on Sunday night, 7 o'clock, I get up out of my apartment I was living at in London at the time, and I walked into one police station. I said, I want to charge Justin with treason. They said, put a mask on. I said, no, I'm not. They said, well, I said, let me talk to the supervisor. Nobody here. It's Sunday night. Fair enough. I said, okay, no problem. So I turned around and went home. And then the guy, as I left the police station, he said 7 a.m. we're open. Okay, good enough. So 7 a.m. I'm back there in London Police Station, headquarters, Dundas and Adelaide. British names, by the way, those streets. And I tried again. And the guy kicked me out. He said, put your mask on. He said, well, and I said, well, you will not. There, I called my ex-girlfriend to see if I could talk to her OPP cousin who worked for the OPP. And I never heard back from him. So then I drove to the OPP headquarters. Are you still there? I don't see you, Paul. Okay, good. I can continue. Anyways, I go to the OPP station on Exeter Road in London, and I tried again. And they told me to put a mask on. I wore the stupid mask for a second because I wanted to get my point across. And then eventually I said, what the heck is this? I'm taking this mask off, and I walked outside. And I had my grandma's Bible with me, and I walked over. I was pacing back and forth. Eventually a police officer walked out. I forget his name. I told him the drill about the King's declaration of war, Trudeau's act of war, and he called it a conspiracy. They did nothing. So then, whatever, I joined my freedom rallies, I joined all this community, and I go here and there and whatever. I went to Castle camp. That's where I met John, the veteran. And so he comes to where I was at Castleman there, and he's like, let's go do something. Let's go to the Ottawa headquarters and try and charge Trudeau. I'm like, the police don't listen. Let's try Petawawa instead. So me and him went to Petawawa military base, and we both tried. We said our piece. We both got arrested for prior failure to appear.
Oh. Huh.
Whatever matters between the both of us.
Yeah.
They're both been rectified, by the way. But anyways, they didn't. I gave him a flash. I got flash drive, seeking Nuremberg charges. Got over 3,000, 2,000 pieces of information. All my emails. I emailed Pam Bonney, Russia, Cash Patel, Lieutenant Stephen Rogers, Colonel Doug.
Oh, wow.
No, not Jagger. Ivan Raikland, United States Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, I don't know which rank. I have a stack of paperwork. But I'm going to read my one letter right now. This is the one. We're running a few months in jail, and I want him released from jail because that guy is smart, and he brought a lot of information to the world. It's only a page and a half. I'm going to try and go as fast as I can. Good afternoon to you. I hope all is well. My name is David Mark, and I would like to charge Prince Charles, the G7, WHO, WEF, the United Nations for acts of war on humanity in relation to Prince Charles' declaration of war on the global private sector in the name of climate change at his COP26 speech on November 21st, 2021. The COVID pandemic is a means of these corporate entities to have transferred wealth to themselves and to cripple the economies around the globe. NATO is instigating war with Russia, and the attacks on peaceful citizens globally to receive a mRNA injection, which has been declared a bioweapon by many professionals, including 17,000 doctors. The careless disregard for human life has shown the sheer evil of their plan. In Canada, the media, which is nothing but a wing of these organizations, has lied repeatedly to the Canadian public and do not report truthfully or unbiased news. The police in Ottawa were clearly from the United Nations, and I wrote the Governor General asking for a dissolution of Parliament and investigation into every member of Parliament with ties to the WEF. And I would like to bring charges against these global institutions that the Crown of England controls, including our hospitals, universities, banks, as well as media and other institutions. I wrote Ryan Fuelmich 3 emails. I attempted to charge Prime Minister Trudeau with treason on 3 separate occasions. I wrote to WHO, multiple MPs, the College of Physicians and Surgeons, Human Rights Tribunal, and others. Crimes against humanity, genocide, conspiracy to commit genocide, and crimes against humanity needs to be brought forth against all of these institutions who are run by the World Economic Forum and their evil Agenda 2030, as well as the climate change agenda, which is meant to destroy humanity, enslave us, and install the mark of the beast into civilization. Klaus Schwab stated that in 10 years, we will all be implanted with an implant. Yuval Noah Harari stated that we are useless eaters and that humans are hackable animals, and they want to do surveillance under the skin. If we can prove NATO or UN soldiers were flown in, then that makes the emergency order an act of war by a 7-nation army. I want them disbanded and justice carried out for all responsible. I would like to gather together an international team of lawyers to bring forth charges at The Hague against all parties involved. If found guilty, justice served as to Nuremberg Code rule. Over 80% of University of Western Ontario students only receive the inoculation against unemployment or education because of the university's mandate. 75% caught COVID regardless. My daughter was vaccinated against my wishes, and I have a genuine concern if she will be able to have children. I found you on the website of the top international lawyers and only Canadian law firm I know it. It's called PKF in Winnipeg, which I have to specify here. I have written 4 letters in total, along with numerous emails to people, but nothing is changing, and the government of Corporation of Canada has committed a great trespass against their citizens. I would like Canada to no longer belong to the British Crown, as they initiated the war on society. I would like to seize the assets of those responsible and give back to the people they have been stealing from for years. The Rothschild family, BlackRock, and the world's richest concocted this evil plan. The Davos Bilderberg group. I believe. Oh my God, sorry, my printer's gone.
Yeah, I think they're all in Switzerland.
I believe the Roman Catholic Church, along with the Freemasonry, need to be investigation into. The Canadian people no longer recognize the crown in God's name through my behalf. I am pleading for assistance with saving billions of lives. I believe that the UN soldiers are in all G7 nations right now, waiting for further orders against pushback from their waking up to their goals of starving them with unrealistic net zero goals on CO2. This is a calculated, coordinated attack on humanity by a number of wealthy, greedy snakes. Bill Gates, Anthony Fauci are clearly behind this and need to face justice along with so many others. God bless. I implore your assistance, along with humanity. Implore your assistance. Sincerely, David Patrick Martin.
Yeah, well,
and that was that letter.
You covered a lot in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of many. You can check out all my other letters on Substack. I have a Substack page. It's called Light, Love, Truth, or at David Marker.
Light, Love, Truth?
You can. Yeah. Yes, sorry. No, I'd rather correct myself. But at David Marker. I have a YouTube channel where I have a 92-page letter where I have names and names and names. I have no time. We don't have time to read that. But I spent 16 days writing a 92-page indictment.
No, brother, you have all the time it takes. Seriously, if it takes 10 hours, I don't care. We're gonna.
Really?
Don't feel rushed. Okay, don't feel rushed at all. Take your time. The most important thing is archiving. What is what we're doing? We're getting it out there. So there's,
Right.
So Love, Life, Truth, is that all together? Let me just put it on the bottom. Can you see that? Is it one?
No, I don't. I don't know how to access it. Look at the techie stuff.
Oh, is it separate words? Light, Love, Truth.
Light, love, truth, all together.
Okay.
I should be put at Light, Love, Truth.
Is it
for David Marker? You should see Governor General, WHO letter. Those are my first two I wrote. The WHO letter took me 10 hours. It's more detailed than the. I could read that one if you want. It's only 6 pages.
Whatever you feel.
But again, I don't.
Whatever you feel is important right now. That's where you want to get it out.
Let's go to Pam Bondi. I'm gonna move forward.
Yeah,
let's talk about America right now. America's committing war crimes. America's committed war crimes ever since I've been alive. I'm a huge supporter of America, but their government and our government are all run by globalists.
Yeah,
and I know this is going on my whole life.
Yeah,
I believe America since 1776. The Rothschilds came here.
Well,
New York's the Big Apple.
I had Anthony Aguilar, who was just on Jimmy Dore. But he witnessed crimes in Gaza, and so it's out there, and nothing's being done. So they definitely have a stronghold on accountability, being held accountable. Right. So so we do have a problem. They were hoping that we will rise up, but that would be the worst thing because they will slam us down with their dominion on violence. Yeah,
complete.
All right. Okay, I'm going to stop talking and let you continue. Like I said, don't feel rushed, okay? I want you to get everything out that you want to get out. And
there's Pam Bondi. Let me see if I can find it. It's not even long. This one's only 1 page, I think. Yeah. So if you go on forever, then they want to listen to you. But here's Pam Bonnie. It's what I wrote to her. November 17, 2025. David Marker letter to Pam Bonnie. Good day. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. So that phrase there is from Trina Francois Sipico from Winnipeg. She spoke law, First Nations law, to the Pope, the King, and the Queen. The only reason I use that phrase is because I learned it from her. She has a sacred fire going in Winnipeg right now for over 1,000 days. This fire has not stopped at night over almost 3 years now. I've helped her with that fire. I love Sipico, her husband Alan, their family. White Fox is another legend out there in Winnipeg who's done his due diligence and tried his best. And many others in Ontario and the Freedom. But First Nation, I have to mention Sipico. I think everybody should check her out on YouTube. So I'm going to go carry on. I've written multiple letters that can be found on my Substack page. I have recently, this page isn't proper. I'll do my best. I'm missing words. I have recently written Judge Napolitano, Scott Ritter, Kash Patel, Canadian government, as well as international lawyers regarding Nuremberg offenses that occurred and are occurring currently. What does one do? Question mark. Silence is treason when justice has flaws. Justice clearly has flaws. Covering up human trafficking, genocide in Palestine, money laundering in Ukraine and Israel for bankers in the military-industrial complex, American Corporation, Canada Corporation are both bankrupt and insolvent, trying for Agenda 2030 and the Great Reset for the World Economic Forum, the WHO, and the UN. I don't want to be chipped, microchipped. I said chip, but quietly, whatever. Nor do I believe that most people would like to either. Your media, our media, and the medical community lied repeatedly. Who owns the media? Hollywood? Question mark. Lies, lies, and more lies. I will share a couple letters I have written, and that's where I left it. But it's on my Substack page. So I emailed our Attorney General. I emailed America's Attorney General. I emailed Russia. I don't know what to do anymore. Well, I know. I'm running out of options. When law enforcement won't do nothing, the justice system won't do nothing, the military won't do nothing, I don't know where you go. But yeah, that's it. I don't know what else I don't want to read too much of my letters, but.
Well, I mean, courtroom has been tried. The court, and they're appointing the judges, so it seems helpless, even legally.
It does,
because there's no counter. There's no
accountability.
Yeah, there's no accountability. People are paid off. They get benefits. They get whether financial or. So I think a majority of Canadians understand we're being lied to. They understand the corruption, and the Truth Table has exposed that.
I believe it.
And with so many people that work for the government. So I mean, I wish I had the answer. I wish I did. I know people are trying. I know it seems like the darkness is growing, but the light is growing as well. There are good people, and
I must be on that 100%. I don't think it's over.
I don't like what they're forcing. They're almost forcing our hand, taking away our guns, and then letting Sikhs have knives on them, kirpan, because it's a religious thing.
Yep.
So the guy in the gym that was kicked out for having kirpan, he didn't have a kirpan. He had an illegal knife. And he also had another weapon on him. So this is how they're playing games with us, trying to get benefits. They're getting more,
right.
$82,000, a year, whereas a full-time Canadian makes an average about $56,000. So they're making more than a full-time employed Canadian. They're making more than a disabled Canadian. So we are being betrayed. We're paying for our own prison, and the army, they're mostly men, military-age men. So we have been betrayed, and they're being protected by the people that are supposed to hold them accountable. And so they're really forcing our hand. They're taunting us. They're poking the bear, like with Russia, because Russia is not our enemy.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Same thing.
What
How
I
far to? How much can you get with before you say no? Well, I say no.
I desire a peaceful solution, because I'm like a lot of Canadians. We are peaceful people. We respect others' choices. We don't care if you're trans or not. We just don't care. I mean, if you're trans, have a trans team, a sports team. Don't like join the opposite sex just because you identify as it. Respect
Right.
women's spaces, and uh, I'm for giving them their own spaces, their own bathrooms. I don't care because it's not an offense to me that someone chooses that. It's offense for me that a biological male uh, fighting against a biological female in a sport. I mean, that's
No,
so
that's disgusting
unfair.
me.
It's an act of war against the girls. It really is. Everything they're
It
doing.
disgusted me.
I mean, they'll give
It
you
disgusted
10
me when
years. They'll give you
that guy beat that girl in Paris at the Olympics and won and walked away with a gold medal.
Yeah, but you'll get 10 years
Unacceptable.
if you quote scriptures that go against LGBTQ. Scriptures from the Bible. You can get 10 years in jail right now. So we're in a bad situation. We have godless rulers. They're definitely not Christian.
Right.
They took Christianity and prayer and singing the national anthem out of schools, and now they're teaching the four pillars of Islam. So there you go. They are harmonizing Islam with Christianity, and they don't really blend too well. Um, so long as you're not a radical of each, because each one can have radicals, Christians or Muslims.
Oh yeah.
Depends on the teachers, the
See,
imams. Like Jim
yeah.
Jones was a radical Christian. So were you able to get everything out that you wanted to talk about? Because there's lots of time. We've only been on for
There's a few more things. I'm close, but how about okay? Have you heard of Kevin Annett?
no.
He's a former United Minister from British Columbia. He has been working against the Pope and the Crown for over a decade. He's lost multiple friends through murder by the King of England.
Yeah.
People should check him. He's on the Sean Atwood podcast quite often. Sean Atwood's another good podcaster. He's out of America, I believe, or actually Britain, I think. He got a British accent. Anyways, I watched a lot of the Epstein survivor victims. I listened to their testimony, hours and hours and hours of their testimony. I've heard all the repulsive things that these people did to them. I can't name names because I can't prove it, but the names I heard, yeah. And where's Epstein's list? That is so important. If we can't protect our children, then we're not worthy. And then you got the robot army, the drone army, the Chinese military like robots that can kick people's like ass, let's just say politely. They know ninja, like they know kung fu, like they masters, and they're robots. And the thing for me mostly is like the genocide in Palestine. I want to mention that specifically. I have never been supportive of genocide and ever will be.
Yeah.
And I heard the other day from this lady who made a report at the UN, and Netanyahu called her an anti-Semite because she spoke out against all these children losing limbs.
Yep.
From what I heard from her podcast, right now in Gaza, there's more amputated children in human history in Gaza than has ever happened.
Yeah.
And she told one specific story I want to mention, and then we can probably shut her down soon, is that there was one young girl that lost all four limbs. All four.
Yeah.
And her face was itchy. And she couldn't scratch it. And there was nobody scratching it. And the other thing I got to say is because the Israelites have been declining medicine, that these kids, all their amputations, all came without anesthetic. So they had to take the pain of losing half an arm, and then as they finished them. I just want to say that. And I also want to pray for the war in Ukraine and Russia, that comes to an end. Deal with Zelensky, war criminal, Nazi. Putin is not the enemy.
The truth, as a native, as a Caucasian, part Irish and French, I'm not enemy with the Ukraine or Russians or the people of Gaza, the people of Israel, the people of Iran. I have no desire for one penny to bomb one person. I think war is such a racket, and it needs to be shut down. This a military industrial complex needs to be shut down everywhere because we're not enemies. They are our enemy.
100%.
Yeah.
100% agree with you. 100%.
Yeah.
Ukraine's not my enemy.
Nope.
Israel's not my enemy.
Nope.
But what Israel and Ukraine are doing is unacceptable.
Yep.
And that's when I look at that. Unacceptable.
Yep. And
You're not going to just kill civilians.
George W. Bush said, "You're either with us, or you're with the T." I don't want to say it. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble with YouTube. Terrorist.
I mean by T.
But you know,
Oh, right.
but he drew the line after 9/11. You're either with us, and unfortunately, when he said us, we were the bad guy. We just didn't know it, and we've all been MK Ultra'd. So I'm glad you're awake and sharing, you know, your efforts to email the right people in power, like Pam Bondi. You know, I don't know if they read the letter. Hopefully they did. But you know, you're evidence that people do care and people are doing something. So don't feel helpless. Never give up, and always try to lift your frequency up and just love even your enemy.
Light, love, and truth. Light, love, and truth. That's my Substack. There you go. That's exactly how I try and roll.
Well, I appreciate it.
Love you, brother.
Is there anything else?
I love you, bro. And thanks for having me on. No, I think we're good right there. I think it's a good way to finish it.
I wanted to make sure you got everything off that you wanted to say because we've been trying to get you here forever.
Well, I got enough off my chest. I don't want to overburden the audience or stuff, but yeah, it was a good conversation. Yeah, we could always do this again some other time.
It's not a burden. I mean, I did shut down the Truth Table, so this is an episode that wasn't expected, and it could happen again. So this stream is paid for until November, so don't be surprised.
Maybe it's looking up views. Hopefully, maybe your podcast back up and running again. We'll see.
Yeah, I think the first casualty of war is the truth, and the Truth Table is a threat. And I don't want to. I think I've said everything I needed to say with all my guests, but something like this could happen again. I don't have any plans, but it's possible. I'm not shutting.
I know many others that have stories that need to be told. Yeah. Like I don't want to mention all their names online, but like I could have 5 people whose story would be like worth an hour show.
Yeah, just message me.
I'm one person, but I know many others that have stories that need to be told, and they're suppressed, right?
Yeah.
That's why I felt inclined to message you today to get on your show so that I can at least get it off my chest and say, listen, I at least said what I had to say.
Yeah.
I spoke in Toronto at Freedom Rally, but there were only 20 people there. Whatever. This is my point. At least I got my point out. No, I can't get my whole point out because I have pages and pages of notes. But we had a good conversation, and yeah, I was privileged to share time with you.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you and your efforts, and I appreciate everyone who's watching. You know, everyone has a part to tell, you know, a story to tell, and I'm hopeful that I will get all the right people to tell the right story and the right ears to hear them. And hopefully we'll find the right people to find remedy without violence or harm. And maybe I'll see you next time on the Truth Table. Message me any of the guests that you think I should have. And it's quite possible I may do some more shows, an episode 13. So thank you very much, David.
Thanks for having me, Paul. You take care, brother. God bless.
You too. Bye. Let me see what I can do here. Thank you all for joining me. Totally surprised.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!